Featherweight bout, Jamall Emmers coming in at minus 260 against Dennis Buzukja, sitting at plus 210. Over under 2.5 rounds, minus 215 for the over, plus 175 for the under. Dennis Buzukja, second fight in the UFC, lost his debut to Sean Woodson on short notice, and is getting a tough matchup here against Jamall Emmers, who's 2-3 in his last 5, and I would probably say got robbed his last time out against Jack Jenkins. That was a close fight. It was a split decision loss. I think it could have went either way. I think Jamall Emmers probably did the better work to get a win, but either way, took a loss. And he's 2-3 in his last 5, but still coming in as a minus 260 favorite. A little chalky, in my opinion. What are you thinking?
Yeah, line's a little wide for me, too. I'm a fan of Dennis Buzukja. You and I somewhat know Dennis, and I'm just going to give a brutally honest breakdown here, regardless of anything. For Jamall Emmers, hasn't shown the best fight IQ in his career. I mean, you look at the fight against where was it? Oh, Pat Sabatini. He gets in that situation where he hurts Sabatini, and then you're in a heel hook battle, and you lose it to the guy who's probably got the better and slicker jiu-jitsu. Jack Jenkins wasn't really his fault. He just didn't really do enough to separate him from Jenkins when I figured and I thought he was going to be able to when he started winning that fight. I think that decision was wrong. I think Jamall should have got his hand raised in that fight. But, it is what it is. That fight's over in Jack Jenkins' territory. Maybe the judges had something to do with that. For Dennis, obviously didn't look good in his debut fight against Sean Woodson. Sean Woodson's kind of a hard fight to come into for your debut. He's a good striker. He's awkward. He's extremely long. He's hard to get in close to land those big power shots that Dennis is going to want to. And also, if you remember and you see after the fight, Dennis had a terrible weight cut. Late notice replacement comes in, a few days left till the fight, and really struggled to take some of that extra weight off to make weight. Coming in here, though, minus 265 is kind of crazy for Jamall Emmers. Dennis, though, I could see a world where he looks a lot better in this fight against Emmers. He doesn't have, he has a lot more time to cut the weight, has a full camp. He's fighting with some of his buddies on this card. The energy is going to be good in the locker room. But Jamall Emmers is a vet at the end of the day who is well-rounded. I mean, you look at him on the feet, he's good. He can hang with guys. You look at him on the ground, he's got good wrestling, good takedowns, can survive submission attempts for the most part. If you look at the Chikadze fight, this guy took Chikadze to split decision in his UFC debut. That's impressive as hell. That shows you the level of striking he's at and the ability to kind of offset good striking with wrestling. I do think Jamall Emmers probably should get his hand raised. However, minus 260, probably not playable by any means. You look at some of the guys Dennis is training with. I mean, he's at Sarah Longo. You got Aljamain Sterling, Murad Valashvili, Nazim Sajikov, who's on this card, Matt Fravola. This guy is surrounded by killers. He's learning from killers, and I think he's only going to get better as his UFC career goes on. And I wouldn't honestly be surprised if he makes this fight extremely close and even gets his hand raised. Kind of a buy low spot. Maybe that's why the odds are this way. People look at his debut, and they saw that he kind of got pieced up by Sean Woodson. But at the end of the day, I think this fight is closer than what the odds depict. Might take a shot on the dog. I don't know if I'll pull the trigger. For the pick, I'll take Jamall Emmers, but I think this one could be pretty fun on the feet if it stays there.
Yeah, I don't think laying the chalk on Emmers in this spot is a very good idea because, he's 2-3 in his last 5. And a lot of times is comes down to a decision and he just doesn't do enough to get his hand raised. So if it does come down to a decision here, Buzukja, he's an active fighter. He's going to come at you and he's going to make you fight. So if Jamall Emmers is looking to, stay safe in some spots, he's fairly low volume in a lot of scenarios. Last time out, you had to use the grappling to at least win the last round. Buzukja, super good wrestling, super good grappling. So I do think Buzukja at plus money is looking like a spot I might take because it is somewhat of a buy low spot. I do think with a full camp and a regular weight cut against Sean Woodson, he puts on a better performance. And even in the performance against Woodson, he showed a lot of good stuff. Jamall Emmers, possesses some sort of those abilities, at least physically. He's a longer guy, but he doesn't have near the boxing that Sean Woodson has. And honestly, like Woodson is a hell of a guy to take down. Like getting under those legs is really tough. Jamall Emmers is longer, a little bit more athletic, but I just think Buzukja can make this fight closer than the odds entail, and maybe get his hands raised. I'll take Buzukja for the pick. Screw it, I'll take him. I won't be betting Emmers at that price whatsoever. And the home team of Sarah Longo is going to be out in full force. So interested to see how the team does. And I'll take Buzukja for the pick.